I'm Mrs. Harrison.
And Miss Best.
And today we are learning to do two things. Number one, we are learning to identify some uppercase letters, including the ones in our own name.
And we're also learning to understand and use words for unfamiliar actions.
This is because it helps us to read, spell, and makes our writing more interesting. What I am looking for is for you to be able to tell the difference between some uppercase and some lowercase letters and recognise the uppercase letter at the start of your name.
What I am looking for is for you to give examples of how to use our new word.
Firstly, let's look at the letters, the uppercase letters C, A and S. We're going to have a look at some names of people from Prep AH, and I want you to see if you can tell me what uppercase letter is at the start of their name. So the first name I'm going to show you, Sasha. As you see, the first letter of Sasha's name is an uppercase letter. Is it an uppercase C, A, or S? If you said S, that is right. Another person who has an uppercase S at the start of their name is Silas. Next person I'm going to show you is Amy. The uppercase letter at the start of Amy's name is, of course, A. And another A is Alex, which means our last two names with an uppercase C is Charlie, you see the C there, and Claire, uppercase C. You'll notice that the rest of the letters in all of the names are lowercase. So at the start of everyone's name is an uppercase letter followed by lowercase letters. I'm now going to show you some names of people from Prep AH, and I want you to see if you can recognise and identify the uppercase letter at the start of their names. So first we've got Ollie and Olivia Rose. What uppercase letter can you see at the start of their names? O. This person is Isabella. Can you see the uppercase letter at the start of Isabella's name? I. One more. Our next person is Jeremiah. The uppercase letter at the start of his name is, of course, J. I'd now like you to take a look at our alphabet chart. Can you point to the uppercase letter that is at the start of your name?
Now we're going to read our book. So let's look at the front cover. This book is called Edward the Emu. How many words are in the title of this book? 1, 2, 3 words in our title. Let's start reading. There's our title again, Edward the Emu. I wonder where I start. Do I start over on this page? No, there's no writing over there. We start this page. Edward the Emu was sick of the zoo. There was nowhere to go, there was nothing to do. And compared to the seals that lived right next door, well, being an emu was frankly a bore. There's a full stop, so I need to remember to pause. So that night, when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward jumped from his pen and he laughed as he said, "The seals are best, anybody can tell, so tomorrow I'll just be a seal as well." The next morning at 9, when they opened the zoo, the seals were swimming and Edward was too. He dived in the water and basked in the sun, and he balanced a bull on his beak just for fun. Well, let's have a look at the word Edward. What uppercase letter does Edward start with? That's right, it's an uppercase E. Well, Edward was really enjoying the day till he overheard someone behind the fence say, "The seals are always amusing, it's true, but the lion's the best thing to see at the zoo." Ooh, I wonder where I start because there's no writing on this page. I must start over here. So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward jumped from the pool and he smiled as he said, "The lion's the best, anybody can tell, so tomorrow I'll just be a lion as well." The next morning at 9 when they opened the zoo, the lions were roaring and Edward was too. He snarled at the ladies and growled at the men. Life was certainly grand for a lion in his den. Well, Edward was having a wonderful day till a man in the crowd had the gumption to say, "Where do I read next? Can you point to where I need to start reading?" "Over here, thank you. The lions are beasts I shall always detest. The snakes are the things that I like to see best." So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward crept from the cage and he grinned as he said, "If the snakes are the best things and that's what they say, then tomorrow I'll just be a snake for the day." That word grinned. Do a great big smile, it shows all of your teeth. You call it a grin. The next morning at 9, when they opened the zoo, the snakes were all hissing and Edward was too. He slipped round the rocks, it was magic to see. Then he curled himself casually up round a tree. Well, Edward was just warming up for the day when he overheard one of the visitors say, "The snakes are impressive, I know that it's true, but the emu is by far the best thing at the zoo." "The emu," gasped Edward. "My goodness, that's me. I'm the thing that gentleman most likes to see. Not the seals, the lions, the snakes and the rest. It's Edward the emu he likes to see best." So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward slipped from the cage and he laughed as he said, "If the emu's the best, then that's easy then. Tomorrow I'm Edward the emu again." Edward ran to the place where he used to reside, but oh what a shock when he clambered inside. He found himself suddenly come face to face with the emu they had brought in to take Edward's place. The emus considered each other a while, then the new emu said with a shy little smile, "Hello, I'm Edwina, it's nice meeting you. You're the best thing I've seen since I came to the zoo." In the story we talked about a word. Do you remember what that word was? It's the word grin. This is a grin. So when you do a great big smile, you could say that you grin. What's the word again? You say it this time. Let's have a look at the word grin. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 letters in the word grin. G-R-I-N. But think of when you grin. I grin when I see everybody trying their best. I'm going to tell you about some things. If you think it's something that would make you grin, I want you to show me a big grin at home. A funny clown at the circus. Would that make you grin? Haha, that would make me grin. Getting in trouble from Mum. That wouldn't make me grin. What about if you heard a funny joke? Mrs. Harrison's very funny. She always makes me grin. So, if you do a great big smile that shows all of your teeth, you call it a